There are moments in life when silence feels louder than words, when a familiar voice that once comforted us exists only in memory, and when our hearts quietly whisper questions that can never truly be answered. If you have ever lost your mother, you know that love does not simply disappear because someone is no longer physically present. It changes shape. It becomes a memory that visits unexpectedly, a lesson that echoes through difficult decisions, a smile that appears in old photographs, a fragrance that suddenly reminds you of home, or a gentle feeling that encourages you to keep moving forward when life becomes overwhelming. Today, this message is not a claim that someone who has passed away is speaking from beyond. Instead, imagine these words as a heartfelt reflection inspired by the kind of unconditional love that so many mothers give throughout their lives. If your mother loved you deeply, there is a good chance these are the kinds of truths she would have wanted you never to forget. My dear child, if I could sit beside you one more time, I would not begin with regret. I would begin with love, because love was always the first language of my heart. I watched you before you ever knew who you were. I celebrated your first smile, worried through your first illness, held your hand through moments you cannot even remember, and dreamed of a future brighter than my own. Every sacrifice I made was never a burden because love transforms sacrifice into joy. If you sometimes wonder whether you were enough, let that question disappear today. You were always enough. Long before you achieved anything, before anyone praised you, before you earned success, before you became strong, you were already worthy simply because you existed. Never let the world convince you that your value depends on your achievements. Real love never measures your worth by your failures or victories. It sees your heart first. I know life has not always been kind to you. There have been nights when you smiled in front of others while quietly carrying pain inside. There have been moments when you doubted yourself, questioned your purpose, or wondered whether anyone truly understood what you were going through. If I could place my hand on your shoulder today, I would remind you that even the strongest hearts need rest. You do not have to carry every burden alone. Asking for help is not weakness. Crying is not weakness. Taking time to heal is not weakness. These are signs that you are human, and being human means allowing yourself the grace to recover after hardship. Remember how many times you fell while learning to walk. Did anyone expect perfection from you then? Of course not. They celebrated every attempt because every fall brought you closer to standing. Life has never changed that lesson. Adults simply forget it. They begin believing that every mistake defines them forever. But growth has always required failure. Every person who inspires you today has experienced disappointment, rejection, uncertainty, and fear. What separates those who continue from those who stop is not talent alone. It is hope. Hope quietly says, "Try one more time." I hope you choose that voice every single day. Please do not spend your precious years comparing your journey to someone else's. The world encourages comparison through endless images of success, beauty, wealth, and achievement, yet comparison steals the joy that gratitude creates. Your path is unique because your purpose is unique. Flowers do not bloom at the same time, yet each one is beautiful in its own season. Trees grow at different speeds, yet each offers shade when the time is right. Likewise, your life unfolds according to experiences that shape your character in ways no one else can fully understand. Trust your own pace. Trust that meaningful growth often happens quietly before anyone else notices. There may be people who misunderstood you, criticized you unfairly, or walked away when you needed them most. Carrying resentment may feel justified, but bitterness quietly drains the heart that holds it. Forgiveness does not erase what happened, nor does it excuse harmful actions. Forgiveness simply frees your own soul from becoming permanently tied to yesterday's pain. You deserve peace more than you deserve revenge. Choose peace whenever possible. Be gentle with yourself when healing takes longer than expected. Healing is not a straight road. Some days you will feel strong. Other days old memories may return unexpectedly. Both experiences are normal. Do not judge yourself for having difficult days. Instead, remind yourself how far you have already come. Every sunrise offers another opportunity to begin again. Every breath reminds you that your story is still being written. Let your heart remain open to kindness, because kindness is one of the greatest gifts you can offer a world that often feels hurried and divided. Smile at strangers. Encourage someone who feels invisible. Listen without interrupting. Speak words that build rather than destroy. These simple acts may seem small, but they create ripples that extend farther than you will ever know. A single compassionate conversation can change someone's entire direction in life. Never underestimate the quiet power of goodness. Above all, never forget that love is not merely something you receive. Love is something you become through your choices every day. Even when you miss someone deeply, the greatest way to honor their memory is not by living in endless sadness, but by carrying forward the compassion, courage, patience, and generosity they tried to teach you. In doing so, their influence continues to live through your actions, touching lives they may never have met, and reminding the world that genuine love never truly ends, it continues wherever it is shared.